Hey everyone, today's video we're going to talk about indicators that beginners should use and some of the things to look for. As a beginner trader, there are many things that you need to look out for, and today we're going to take a look at some of the things that you need to focus on to start. I also mentioned in the past that using software for the trading software for the very first time is much like driving a car. You got to worry about the pedals, steering wheel, the mirrors, rear view mirrors. You got to worry about bicycles, the pedestrians, other cars, etc. So it pretty much the same thing. So when you first load up your software, whichever one you've done, whichever broker you've loaded up with, and they all have generally the same functionality. I'm in Thinkorswim, so that's what I'm showing you guys. And what I've got here is just a plain old chart. So this is the chart for SRXH today, August 15th, 2025. And um, it isn't so much about you starting to learn how to read the charts, but to understand what things you need to put on the chart. So in Thinkorswim, we can go to studies, and this will vary depending on your software. And then a couple of things that we want to do is we want to look for the MACD, and we want to add the MACD. It's going to put it in the lower band, and here's the MACD. And this is helpful because you can see the volleys. This is an excellent area to enter. Oops, go a little bit. So you want to be alert to these crossovers. See the MACD stays up, sinks a little bit, stays up, and then on here, it crosses underneath the signal line. So by that time, that software is done. There's a fake out here, but then it continues down south. So this is one indicator that's going to help you make some trades, make some decisions about trades. It doesn't always hold true. I've seen stocks that are down here and the volume is so high that the stock's going up. But in general terms, this is what you want to look for. You want to look for these crossovers, and that's where you're going to take your trades. Okay. On the chart itself, the other EMA lines that will help you are the moving averages, uh, and we're going to look for the EMA. This EMA is good. The displaced EMA is also good. Another line that I like to rely upon also is the 20. So we're going to add the exponential 20. It's going to default to 9, but you can click on the settings and change it. And change the color. On my charts, I use blue. And there's the 20. And the importance of the 20 is that typically what will happen is the price line or the 9 will go separate upwards. And typically, the biggest this separation is, the more likely that the stock is likely to reverse. You notice right here that they cross. The price line is underneath the 20. You don't want to trade that. The other reason to use the 20 is for support. There are times when the breakouts, like here, you see that's a big red candle there, but the next candle nicely held at the 20 level and it went up. Little doji here, up and up. Now that's probably not that much. Let's say 49 cents to 54 cents. If you got 2,000 shares, you've got 6 cents. That's good money. Or if you held it, kept going up here, and you notice the 9 and the 20 are very close together, and then here they fold. But typically, when they begin to separate, eventually they will cross, and then it's up to the upside. Another thing I wanted to mention was divergence. And I'm looking here to see if I see a pattern. Okay, right here. So let's draw some trend lines. So the divergence means that the lower lows, the current lower lows, are lower than the past lows, and that the highs are also moving up. So when these two lines are separating themselves, it means it's going to go up. Now, this one didn't have the strength, and based on that candle there, it just fell. But generally, that's what you want to look for. So you want to look for some divergence for the price to move up. And this works the opposite if you're shorting. But I'm into bullish, so that's what I'll talk about. You want the MACD to be above the signal line, and you want preferably a launch off of the 20. You want the price line and the 20 to be not too close together, but surely enough. From right here, we're talking 50 cents to the top of this candle. What do we do? 58 cents. So maybe you get out right here at 55 cents. Again, with a couple of thousand shares, 51 to 56, 4, 5, 6, 7 cents. For a 2K account, that's really excellent. So even in this chop, there is room to make money. Now, how many lines and how many indicators you want on your chart is a personal preference, and it really has to be up to you and what you feel you can handle. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a 200. And a 50. This can also be a 34. You can also add 100, but it varies. So generally what you want to see is you want to see all of these lines move up in sync. And you want them in that order: the 9, the 20, the 50, and the 200. When the line starts going above the 200, you need to watch all the other indicators. When the 50 and the 20 are so high up, far from the 200, then you need to watch for a downturn or a reversal. Let's close in on this. Now, looking at this chart and looking at the lines as I'm drawing them, etc., etc., it's all nice and easy because the chart is already preset. You also got to remember that the indicators are not actually what is happening. These indicators are showing on screen what has been happening. So that's why it's important that you pay attention to these lines. And at first, it can get overwhelming. But what you need to do is look at the lines and then know what that they're there, know what they're for. And it took me a while to memorize and try to remember all of these lines. The other line that I like to have is the VWAP. That's very important. And I like to make this a broken line. And I forget what color I did this on this one. Let's make it pink. And you'll hear many folks, and they'll tell you, if your stock price is below the VWAP, don't trade it. Wait for it to get above. And that mostly is true. However, the VWAP is a good place to take a look at when a stock is going to reverse. So in this move here, the stock price falls all the way down to here. It tries to recover almost up to VWAP, and what will typically happen is this is a very short distance. It'll bounce and it'll fall, and it might try again, and it bounced and it fell, tried again and it fell. And that's interesting. So it was up here, but it didn't have the strength. So 1, 2, 3, 4 tries before I finally gave up. The buyers or the bulls just didn't have the patience to sit there and continue trying to fight it. Now the stock is consolidating all the way down here in this channel, and you can see here from 38 cents to 40 cents, and it'll probably sit there between 38 and 40 for a long period of time until it can finally have another new catalyst that can use, or something that'll start making it move forward. It could be a continuation stock for Monday. I don't think so. I think it's very weak, and I think we'll probably have other stuff on Monday. So these are the basic settings that you want to take a look at in your chart. Next, we'll take a look at the other the rest of the software. Now, Thinkorswim TradeStation, I think, also has a ladder similarly, and this is the ladder here. So the price of the stock as it moves up will be highlighted here, and if you want to bid or buy a quantity, you can click right here, and you notice right here you see the buy stop, and if you want to sell, you can sell here. And it's pretty easy because you can see the price moving up left and right. You can see the volume here. You can remove that. You can also customize it and add your PL open, which I like to do, because then it shows me here how much I'm going to make or how much I'm going to lose. I typically don't use the buy orders or sell orders, so I remove both of those to make it a little bit easier to read and view. And of course, you can squeeze this in as much as you want, or add other windows. But if Webull, I think, has something similar to a ladder. You have your buttons, buy, sell, etc. You can customize these as well, and use your position, how many shares you've taken, your average price, your open, and whether you made money. And you can customize that going through here. This has a drop down so that you can change your quantities. And here are the templates. I have some templates set up. These are the defaults. So no, a single OCO, a TRG with bracket, 2 brackets or 3 brackets. I've set up 3 of these, but I don't hardly use them anymore uh, because I either get stopped out or they never hit the top. So I ignore them. Look at that. Still moving. It's still alive. It's beating. So some folks don't like the ladder. And if you don't use the ladder, that's okay. You don't have to. I'm not professing think or swim. I am simply showing you the chart, showing you the functionality that I have. And what you should do is when you first sign up with your broker, load the software and take a look at all the settings and everything that you can do so that to make the screen look comfortable to you. You have to have your eyes be able to go from left to right, up and down, and to the corners to be able to look at the different indicators and the different windows. And that's just going to be you. All right, next we'll take a look at something else. Okay, so now here we have the time and sales. And the reason the time and sales are important is because here you can see all of these are sellers. All the ones in green are buyers. And when this is moving and it moves very fast, you want it to move quickly because then that means that there's volume coming in and out. And obviously, it's something that you have to train your eye to see. Look at that. Now, those are small amounts, only 100, but people are selling. So when the time and sales, ooh, look at that. Ooh, somebody's just trying to sell at 100 at a time. When this is moving like this, you don't want to jump in because what's going to happen is you're going to jump in right into someone selling. Yeah, hardly moving. So you got to be able to watch this, and this is just out of the corner of your eye. Okay, probably one of the most important things that you want to take a look at along with looking at volume is the level 2. So on here you're going to see the ask and the bid, and you're going to see the numbers, and these numbers you need to multiply by 100, and that'll tell you how many shares are being offered and how many shares are being offered to purchase. If I was looking at this and this was a rolling right now with a lot of volume, I like this. Somebody here thinks it's going to go to $1.19, but I doubt it. More realistic, somebody here at 49 cents, close to 50. But look at these numbers. Single, except for this one that's 32. But look at these numbers: 65, 10, 70, 20. So you certainly got more people offering to purchase, but they don't want to purchase at 40 cents. They want to buy it below. And this is something that you need to watch for volume. It's what I use mostly to gauge whether a price is going to go up higher. Sometimes you can see these line up into triple digits, and if something lines up into triple digits in the bid, then you know people are buying, and it makes for good action and good momentum. Now we're looking at my 5-minute chart here, and I've customized it, the colors, the way it looks, and added other indicators that work for me. They might not necessarily work for you. And it took me months to research and find these indicators and get them just the way I liked it. My screen is still way too crowded, and I need up in the next month here or so, I'm going to be working to try to simplify it. As you get better at identification of the technicals and knowing where a stock is going to go, when it's going to go down, etc., then your eye becomes more trained to building virtual lines that you don't need to draw, and when that happens, then you can start removing some of the indicators. But for beginners, you need to have them on there, and you may need to have a lot more. Many of these indicators use scripts, and there are places you want to look on the web for scripts. Look for free scripts. There are plenty of folks out there who modify the scripts for free and will make them available. You shouldn't have to pay for the indicators, not when you're trading for free. I didn't pay for any indicators. All of these were free. I may have modified them. I am a programmer, and I was able to. So I'm able to modify some of the scripts. Um, let's see here. So, for example, this script here, what I do is I set up all the EMA lines all in one script, so I don't have to have multiple indicators. But that's a new feature. So I've got all of these: the 11, the 54, the 92, and I just consolidate it. But that's up to you, and you don't have to have that. You don't need to have that. So once you've got your screen set up, then you can take a look at the different windows. And so what I typically do is I monitor the chart up here. This will be where I look at my trades and what I'm going to do. As you've already noticed, I like to mark out horizontal lines for the channels, support and resistance. I also take a look at the 5 minute for reference. It's important to have a reference, 5 minute, 15 minute, however you do it. You can also trade on the 2 minute and 3 minute up here. And I have the 133 ticks, which is sort of equivalent to a 10 second. People claim the 10 second is really good. Um, I think that in when I redo my screen, I think I'm going to include the daily somewhere in here and go to a 15 minute. So it'll be 5, 15, 1, 2, or 3. My time in sales, my level 2, and obviously the trading interface and the active ladder. These are watch lists that tell me, and I look and I glance, like if I see green here and I see it to start moving and I'm not in any trades, obviously I'm going to switch to that uh, stock and then decide whether it's something that I want to pursue. The gappers, I look at the volume, and the volume usually I look for is over 2 million. If it's not over 2 million, I don't trade it. This one up here sort of does okay, but I'm still not convinced, and I still haven't gotten this quite fixed yet. These are on scripts. And this area up here, I only use it for reference. I want to know what the market is doing, the SPY. I want to know what Nvidia is doing, and I have Oklo for reference. Oklo a few days ago was at 85. Now it's down to 71. And Nvidia, and that tells me that the large caps are also folks are not buying as much. So when I'm trading and when the market is moving, my eyes are on the chart here. I know that you see a lot of arrows there. I don't pay attention to arrows. I should go and get rid of them. I pay more attention to these lines. The EMA lines, swinging down, swinging up. They are a better indicator. Yeah, that stock doesn't have much. This one was a little better. I also like to play with scrunching and stretching so it can be easier. For me, this is way too small. I need to make it bigger since I have these 3 indicators in this one. I also have a small Elgato device so that if I feel like I want to use the device, then I can just set my quantity here and hit the macro, and it'll, as long as I've got this window highlighted, click it 5 times and I buy 1,000. Click it another 5 times with another button, then I sell, and that's pretty easy. So hopefully that helps someone. If you have any questions, leave them down below. If you like the videos, like and subscribe. It helps the channel out, and it helps us to create more videos for you guys. Thank you, and have a great weekend.